What's up, y'all? And welcome back to Dad Needs to Talk. I'm your host, Robert, and today I'm going to be briefly talking about this new manga series called War of the Adults. Now, I said briefly because it is 6 a.m., and I'm going to do this hopefully within the next 15 minutes before I got to get the kids up for school and get ready for work. But uh, but yeah, so this is a newer series that I've been reading on the Manga Plus website, and it only has, let me see, right now it has 6 chapters as of today. Chapter 7 will be coming out probably by the time y'all see this Friday. But this is just one of those series that I'm like, I enjoy this, so I gotta talk about it. So the setup and the premise for this, I would say for anybody that spends a decent amount of time online, and I mean like social media, Twitter, Instagram, whatever, um, you will feel this manga. So basically, it starts off following this teen named Utaro Urashima, who basically is trying to become a proper adult. So, he kind of, had a little bit of some delinquent tendencies and stuff, whatever. They got him in some trouble. And, his father basically told him one time, like, hey, I understand having pride, but basically it's time for you to basically start becoming an adult. So he's 16 at the beginning of the story, or whatever. And then basically he has a moment, and I'm just mild spoilers here, but I have to say this to explain the insane setup of this plot. So he's out walking, thinking about his father and different things, whatever, and he sees a cat in the street. So he just reflexes, runs after the cat, gets hit by a truck, and no, this is not an isekai. He ends up in a coma for 15 years. And so that panel, when it goes from him laying in the street to 15 years later, older, beard, hair longer, whatever, society has changed. And the reason why it has changed was because he was kind of writing down this little notebook or whatever of thoughts, or basically creating a little guide of how to become a proper adult. Now, for those of you who are fans of my beloved 20th Century Boys, we know how, and of course, it's something you learn later in the story about how this book and stuff that the kids were writing when they were younger, somebody found it and basically used that to, in adulthood to kind of start shifting the world and things like that. Well, somebody found his book um, when the accident happened, and this person went on to become basically like the prime minister of Japan, and has pretty much turned everyday life into a full live stream where you basically get rated and stuff, and that is how you become a adult. And there are tiers of adult. You become like a kind of sound like a Twitch streamer or a Twitch sub. It's like, oh, you're a tier 2 adult, you're a tier 5 adult. And so that is what the current state of the world is, where, and I'll just say that was also one of my favorite reveals. So, like, that first chapter hit you with a double whammy of this kid got hit by the truck, 15-year coma, wakes up, and I love how they do small hints, because you'll see like throughout like that first chapter, you see what looks like a comment section or whatever, but you're just kind of not sure what's going on, but you see like like online names, like people chat, like people are chatting, and then you find out later on because you keep seeing people do this little thing or whatever, and you're like, what is that? And basically that is like, hey, we're watching or whatever, because they have installed thousands of cameras all over the city, inside of places, inside of people's homes, and everything. And so people can legit just, it's like a 24/7 IRL stream. And the reason why I said it would speak to people that are online a lot is that it really kind of starts getting into the positives and the negatives of that, to where, you know, people will see something or see a piece of something happening and be like, oh my God, this person's horrible, or I can't believe they did that to them, or yada, yada, yada. But then you can see the power of like the internet. Because, like, I think I made a tweet saying basically this series shows that the internet can both give you the world and give you everything, but just as quickly take it all from you. And so that is kind of like the core crux of the story, or like kind of like the setup of it or whatever. And so Urashima ends up running into this older guy who basically has like an online blog where, long story short, he is trying to uh, basically take down the system, or at least kind of like infiltrate the inner circle to try to figure out more about what's going on. And so that's kind of why I figured this is kind of like the best time for me to record some early initial thoughts of the series, because we've kind of got through like the introduction and setup, and we're about to start kind of like the first real arc for where things might go. So yeah, so like I said, this one uh, has really caught my attention. So I was behind, what was it, 4 chapters, because I had read the first 2 chapters when they came out. Enjoy them, but just, y'all know how I am. Life gets busy and stuff with it, so I wasn't able to read it week to week. But it ended up being a really good little binge read, getting to read chapters 3 through 6 all together in one sitting or whatever, especially with the introduction of this new character and everything, and kind of getting to see like several, like a few chapters back to back of them kind of getting a build up and escalation. But yeah, like I said, like it kind of, like I said, like really gave me some vibes of, like I said, like the background stuff of 20th Century Boys. Not saying that it will be on this level, but just like I said, with that setup of a kid just jotting down ideas, somebody discovering this book and basically reshaping society in this mindset and image of this basically teens book, and stuff. So it's kind of like the foundation for this new how to be a proper adult system. Because what did he call it? The Articles of Adulthood. But yeah, so like I said, go check it out. Like I said, this series, like I said, is on Manga Plus. And yeah, I'll be very interested to see where this goes. I'll definitely, I'll just say, if it's still good in several more chapters, I will do a updated episode kind of discussing it or whatever. So we'll see. But I'm going to give it a little bit more time because, like I said, chapter 7 is coming out tomorrow, this Friday. So I'll probably give it a handful of chapters, maybe even seeing how long this arc might go, and then maybe kind of check back in with y'all to kind of see if things are staying steady and consistent quality wise, or if it falls off a cliff. But yeah, so thank you so much for watching. I gotta go get these kids up for school and get myself ready for work. But I appreciate y'all so much. But let me know if you have also been checking out War of the Adults, or if there are any other series that is on your radar that you might want me to check out. I'm always down to discover some new gems and stuff out there. But for now, that is it. As always, you can find me everywhere at Danny's Talk. And as I always say, treat yourself to something nice, read some manga, watch some anime, TV shows, movies, and play some video games. And of course, I'll catch y'all on the next one. Y'all be easy. Peace.